My dear students, I have got the chance to stand before you for taking the class. I think you are well by the mercy of Allah. The people all over the world are passing through the life with havoc for the pandemic situation. But as students, you have to carry on your studies. In the last few months, I got the chance to take the classes, and in the initial stages, I took many of the classes on second paper, that is English grammar. But you know that as the students of 11th class, it's your foremost duty to read out the text. And there are 15 units here and nearly 150 lessons. As the students of 11, you have to know, you have to have the conception on the units and lessons of the text. And so, in the last 2 or 3 lectures, I try my best to read out the text. You know, just in my last 2 lectures, I taught you about Unit 2, that is about some of the modern scientific inventions. And here today, I would like to read out the text, that is Unit 2, Lesson 3. The topic of the unit is just scientific breakthroughs we are waiting for. You know, we the people of the modern ages are facing various diseases, and there are various types of diseases we have to face. But it's a matter of regret that yet we have not got any remedy of them. And so the scientists all over the world are working heart and soul just how to get the remedy, how to invent the medicine. You know, especially the scientists of Oxford and America and many other developed countries are working to get the remedy of the pandemic situation, that is about the COVID-19. Similarly, just we are hopeful that we would like to some of the medicines that should work in our body directly to the infected areas. I think now the modern scientists and doctors and physicians are trying their best to invent some of the medicines which should not have some of the, partial side effects. And so here, just to get the remedy, just to find out the successful, at first they are thinking just to invent a DNA computer. Imagine having an iPod capable of holding thousands of years of high definition video. So I think just as the modern boys and girls or students, you know, you are introduced to the topic that is the iPod. Just iPod has the ability to hold the thousands of years of high definition video. Similarly, a DNA computer would make such a device very possible. It is hopeful, the scientists are hopeful that a DNA computer would make such a device very possible. DNA is the substance that living organisms use to store genetic information. I think DNA is a type of thing which had the capacity to preserve the living organism used to store genetic information. What makes DNA special is that it is extremely efficient when it comes to storing information in a limited space. So what DNA, just 1 milligram of DNA is capable of holding all the printed material in the world. DNA computing is currently in its infancy with prototypes such as Maya 2, only capable of showing the concept. Just the scientists are thinking their best that they would be able to invent a computer which will carry the characteristics of DNA. And you know that the DNA, just 1 milligram of DNA is capable of holding all the printed materials in the world. DNA computing is currently in its infancy, but it is not still, they have not been successfully invented perfectly, just it is the initial stage. With prototypes such as Maya 2 only capable of showing the concept. If DNA computing is perfected, computers will become capable of holding amounts of information that are hard to imagine by today's standard. If the scientists are successful in their invention, just we could not imagine what type of success we are going to achieve. Okay, then scientists are also thinking about the permanent moon base. The ever since setting up human habitation in space was first imagined. You know that now all over the world nearly 7.8 billion people are living on this earth. I think so. In course of time, it would be that quite impossible for the earth to give the shelter of the people, and that's why the people, those who are working, the scientists who are working about the aerospace, they are thinking that we have to shift our human being to other planets, and that's why we are thinking to settle up the human being in the space. It was thought that the moon would be the first object to be colonized since it was closest to Earth. And at first we are thinking to settle the people at moon because we are thinking ourselves that the moon is the nearest planet, and so we should be able to settle them there. In 1969, when man first walked on the moon, a permanent colony suddenly appeared to be very achievable. As the moon has been conquered by people in 1969, and after that the modern astronauts are thinking just to settle people there. However, for a variety of reasons, both economical and technical, the project was never truly attempted. But I think for lack of money, still the scientists could not dare to take the steps. However, NASA currently has plans to have one constructed by 2004. NASA thinking to settle the people there by 2024. The European Space Agency, this is ESA, also has plans to construct a moon base by 2025. Japan and India also each have plans to have a base by 2030. The biggest barriers to a base is money, and I think there are many organizations all over the world. There is Americans, Russians, and many other scientists are thinking just to be successful to settle people in another planet, and they are hopeful that they would be able to settle us within 2025 or within 2030s. The biggest barrier, I think, it's a barrier for us that I think economic side. We the people of the all over the world are not financially so successful that we have no sufficient money to carry on our studies. And so if we want to become, especially in the winning of the space, we need sufficient money, including so many people within NASA, including Buzz Aldrin, have criticized the building of a moon base, saying that NASA should put more focus on different issues like clean energy. And I think now the modern people or scientists would like to give emphasis on the clean energy, because if you want to settle people, so I think in the topic just we came to know the scientific breakthroughs we are waiting for. I think the modern scientists are trying their best to settle people to another planet. The modern people are trying their best to invent the DNA computer by which we would be able to gather information of thousands of years ago, and then it would be possible for us to carry on our studies. And then the astronauts are trying their best to settle our people to another planet, but it's a matter of regret that we are not financially sufficient, and that's why just we cannot carry on studies so successfully. But we are hopeful that in course of time we would be able to settle our people to another planet, and if it's possible, I think the people on earth will get the chance to lead a peaceful life. Okay, dear students, you should carry on your studies. You should try your best to read out the text, to know the text. You should try your best to find out the word meanings. And in your houses, you should try your best to improve your skill, especially in grammar and especially in the stock of word. And then I think you would be able to just to speak and write English yourself. So thank you all. See you again.